Lê Duy Loan is an internationally recognized overseas Vietnamese woman. She was born in 1962 in Saigon and migrated to the United States in 1975. Mrs. Lê has achieved outstanding success in technology with 24 patents, including a 2004 World Guinness record for the fastest single-core digital signal processing chip. She is the first woman and Asian American to have been elected as a senior fellow in the 85-year history of Texas Instruments, or TI. Based in Texas, TI is the third biggest electronic chip maker in the world, only after Intel and Samsung. Along with professional success, Mrs. Lê is actively engaged in community events. She serves on the board of two non-profit organizations that promote education and social economic development projects in low-income countries. One of them is Sunflower Mission, which has been operating for 12 years in Vietnam. The mission's activities in Vietnam are divided into three pillars, including the construction of primary schools, scholarships, and work camps for the youth. Mrs. Lê has received numerous awards of the United States and other countries that recognize her admirable devotion and contribution. Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam. In our program today, we'll have a conversation with Mrs. Lê Duy Loan, a senior leader of Texas Instruments, one of the leading high-tech companies in the United States and the world. She has been carrying out many activities and efforts to improve education for young people in Vietnam. Mrs. Lê Duy Loan, thank you very much for joining us today. So first of all, could you give us an overview of the Sunflower Mission in Vietnam?
I, and together with a few other friends who are also young professionals, founded the organization in 2002, late 2002. And when we founded that organization, I was extremely adamant that this is not going to be about anything else but education. In other words, as much as I want to do humanitarian relief, as much as I do medical and all of that, it is not about those. It is about education and education only. Why education? Because I believe that there are many ways that we can help people. Right? We can feed them, we can help them medically and all of that. But the most sustainable one, and I use the term sustainable, the most sustainable one is education. It gives people the means and the tools and the knowledge to help themselves and build themselves. Mm-hmm. And education, I think unlike the traditional view of education, to me, education is not about academic education. There's a difference between schooling and knowledge. You can go to school all your life, but never have the knowledge to succeed in life, right? So it is about the whole education. It is about the academic as well as the what I call character building. So to me, only when you have both can you really become somebody that can then help other people. And that's the beautiful thing about education. Yeah. You help them so that they can go on to help themselves and help other people as well.
So could you share with us some major results of the mission in Vietnam so far?
We have built 139 classrooms, okay? That provide education facility for over 11,000 students each day. Because in Vietnam, as you well know, we go to school half in the morning. You can teach a class in the morning, another class in the afternoon. And each classroom educates 40 kids in the morning and 40 kids in the afternoon. And we have given out 12,334, if my memory is right, scholarships. Out of that, 850, almost 850 scholarships are at the college level. And out of that, 330-something students have graduated from college. The overhead average, this is where I have to say that the Sunflower Mission director, advisor, volunteer staff, because not a single person is paid a single dollar. The average overhead is unheard of, 0.84%. That means for every dollar of donation, 99.16 cents goes straight to the cause, okay? That is an unbelievable testimony of the efficiency and the trust that we try to live up to. So that's the hard matrix, the soft matrix. You know, I've been at this for 12 years. it is exhausting. It is tiring, especially given my lower responsibility. But there are certain moments in life that captivate your heart and tell you don't give up because it's absolutely worth it. And I can tell you, is it okay if I share with you one or two of those moments? I was in Cần Thơ University in my role as an executive at TI, trying to set up labs and update, technology for the university students there. After we finished, some of the students pulled me out in the hallway. They didn't thank me for the lab. They already did that in the room. They thanked me for something else. They thanked me for the scholarship we have given them from Sunflower Mission that allowed them to finish college and become the faculty at the university, now educating the next generation. So that is a really good example.
With its obvious and far-reaching achievements, Sunflower Mission receives enthusiastic support from many donors in many countries. They include individuals of all ages, from primary school children to college students and professionals. Some donors are major corporations of the United States, such as Texas Instruments, National Instruments, and eSilicon. Lê Duy Loan either serves as a board member or has close connections with those companies. National Instruments has announced partnership with Sunflower Mission to support education for children in Vietnam's rural areas, particularly in technology such as robotic lessons. Meanwhile, eSilicon manages Sunflower Mission scholarships for undergraduate students majoring in chip design and software engineering. Each scholarship is worth $300 and dedicated to students from the second to the final year in college. And could you share some information on the financial resources for the mission?
Several angles. First, a lot of it comes from corporation due to my connection. I serve on the board of directors of 2 companies. I work for TI. I have a lot of network, so corporation. Then the second one is, of course, foundation. We apply for grants, and with the incredible efficiency and credibility and record that Sunflower Mission has, they trust us. So that's the second bucket. The third bucket is people, individuals who they might do Google search, they want to do something for Vietnam related to education. They see Sunflower Mission, they learn about us, they understand that we are not religious, we are not political, and we are so efficient and dedicated, they also donate. And of course, we also have fundraising events. As far as individual donors are concerned, I probably would say a good 90% of them are Vietnamese over here. And we have donors as far as France, Germany, and Australia, Singapore. We also have a group of people in like a few years ago, we have a small group of kids, 7 or 8 years old. They read about Sunflower Mission from Australia, and they make cupcakes. And they sold to raise funds. And we have another group from Singapore, young professional who wanted to have a coffee night, a coffee day, and they drink coffee and they raise funds for Sunflower Mission. So these people found us. We don't know because they are out there. And we have people who actually have phở, Vietnamese noodle, phở night, and they use that events to raise funds for us. And we also have Vietnamese Student Association at various universities.
Okay. And the mission has been cooperating with many partners in Vietnam to carry out activities for the young people. So how do you describe the collaboration with partners in Vietnam?
So what we choose to do, of course, is school is the hardest thing because it's a hard asset. So we have to choose our school location very carefully because resources are limited. So we have to choose where the need is intense. That's one criteria. Secondly is that the local government has to have skin in the game, meaning they have to donate the land, build the fence, provide the furniture or something. Because if you don't own part of it, you will not appreciate it. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is the people that we work with in Vietnam, our so-called program manager overseeing the school construction, they also very good at heart, right? They don't try to take advantage of the situation. They don't try anything funny. They give more than they can possibly give. So those three components are very important to the success of the projects, right?
And besides Sunflower Mission, I know that you're also engaged in various activities for young people in Vietnam. So could you share with us some information on those activities?
So from my, so that's the Sunflower Mission side, like you said. From my professional side, like I said, I work for Texas Instruments. I serve on the board of directors of National Instruments and East Silicon. All three companies have presence in Vietnam, okay? And for example, TI in 2000 and, how long ago? 2011 or 2010, I can't remember. We started the annual design contest. That allowed the student to take what they study in theory, build a real life project and compete. And in the process of competing through the regional level and arise at the national level, there's tremendous leadership skill to be learned and honed, including teamwork, conflict resolution, right? Communication, presentation, selling your ideas. So that's one aspect. And we usually hold the national design ceremony. I will fly back to attend that, and we do it at university campus. This year will be in Da Nang. Last year was in Saigon. So that's TI. The National Instrument is a company that I've been on the board of directors for 12 years. And this year is the first time we launch what we call innovation design for young entrepreneurs. And that is to help young people who have ideas. How do they launch that idea? How do they nurture that entrepreneurship? So that's part of what we call Planet NI program. So that's also dealing with university and other organizations. Then East Silicon has a large workforce in Vietnam, right? As a matter of fact, probably 60 to 75% of our engineers who design very complex chips are in Vietnam. And East Silicon is actually the company that helps me with the engineering and technology scholarship, because that program, as I described to you, takes a lot of work to set up through the interviewing process, selection of the students. So East Silicon have workforce in Vietnam, and I go back and I interact with the leaders there to help them with ideas, answer questions, help, motivate and inspire. So this coming November, in addition to the Engineering Technology Scholarship, I will chair the National Design Contest for TI. I will also address all three universities, University of Bách Khoan Đà Nẵng, Bách Khoan Saigon, and University of Cần Thơ. All three of them will hold student forum, meaning they will get a large group of students together, and then I would give them a talk, and then I would also address their questions.
Mrs. Lê, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing meaningful and valuable stories and information. Well, that's all for our Sharing Vietnam today. Hopefully, Mrs. Lê Duy Loan and the Sunflower Mission in Vietnam will receive further support and expand their activities in order to bring better education for young people in Vietnam. Thank you for watching, and see you again next time.